Hi, welcome to the basement. I'm Blower. This is Buster. Unfortunately, today we do not have a guest. We got some good topics, and we'll get right into it. So, Buster, have you seen the new Spider-Man movie?
No.
You have not?
Plan on it, but I haven't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it either.
I'm pretty interested to see where it goes after Endgame.
Mm-hmm.
It's Tony Stark is like Peter Parker's major second man.
Mm-hmm.
So
He's a big mentor for him.
yeah, and I think that might sort of be Jake Gyllenhaal's Mysterio now or something. But
Mm-hmm.
as a whole, I'm not sure where they're going to go next because they've recently acquired all of the 20th Century Fox Marvel properties like
Mm-hmm.
X-Men, Fantastic Four, even Ghost Rider.
No.
So I don't think he's going to play a major part, but they could if they really wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they're probably going to try to capitalize on a big villain that hasn't been done properly yet, which probably means they're going to do Doctor Doom.
Doctor Doom. Yep.
But because Magneto, he's already been done very well by Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender.
Mm-hmm.
But Doctor Doom is just kind of sucked all the time.
Yeah, he sucked. What was the last movie he was in a few years ago?
Fantastic Four.
Yeah.
With the 4 in the name.
Yeah. That was
The Josh Trank one where all the studio stuff went sour and
that was terrible.
yeah, all sorts of drama.
He looked so weird in the whole movie. Like he didn't look normal at all.
No.
I'm hoping the next Black Panther movie's good because there was a lot of hype around that first one, but I wasn't a big fan.
Well, when I was looking at it yesterday, the Marvel movies they still had planned in addition to like the Disney Plus shows and the Hulu shows.
Yeah.
The Eternals was one of them, which says they're going to go more on the cosmic side. They're going to explore that a little more because with Thanos, that was the most out there thing we had.
Yeah.
And then I guess Doctor Strange, there's going to be a second solo movie with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure they're going to go even more into the cosmic stuff with that.
Yeah. I like the cosmic stuff. But like I said, I hope Black Panther 2 is good. I hope all that stuff. Black Widow movie. I hope that's pretty good.
I'm curious about. I'm not sure if that's going to be not really a prequel, but a film set in the past, or if it's going to have something to do with her death, or a posthumous Black Widow movie. I have no idea what they're going to do there.
I don't know what they're gonna do. Yeah, but like I think Scarlett Johansson is obviously in it, but I don't think there's a lot of main MCU characters in it. I think it's just her.
I think it's just going to be like.
I think I saw the cast list, and it was just her that I'd recognize. There was actors I recognized, but not from the MCU.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't know if there's gonna be any heroes, in that movie as well that we would recognize.
Yeah.
Of course.
And then also, past Black Widow, which I guess maybe that won't even contribute to the bigger picture, because the way they go is in phases and all that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're always working towards something bigger. So maybe something from her past will contribute to what's going to come next. But, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is going to come out. So it seems like now we have a lot of outer stuff that they can use too. Because, Iron Man always seemed to be on Earth. Captain America is on Earth. But now what we're left with is, with movies to come, is Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy, and the Eternals. So.
Yeah. I'm hoping. I would like to see. Do you think they're gonna do like an Asgardians of the Galaxy, or are they just gonna?
I don't think they're gonna go as far to call it that, but I think that might be what they do.
Mm-hmm.
It would make sense to have Thor integrated into that instead of having his own movie.
Yeah.
Even though they could still do a lot of character development with him but it's not necessarily enough to warrant his own entire movie.
Yeah.
It could just be with the rest of the Guardians.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan of the Thor movies other than Ragnarok.
Ragnarok was pretty fun.
It was one of the most fun Marvel movies.
And that's really strange because the first two
were not like
no, they were the opposite of fun. They were bland. That
they
was
were
the
bland
problem.
and dark and ugh.
Yeah.
Especially Dark World.
Dark World was just
that sucked.
Lame.
It was stupid. That was a bad movie. But Ragnarok really turned it around. I made Thor a more enjoyable character. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It really made him enjoyable, because a lot of people hate on Fat Thor, but I would really rather Infinity War Thor, Ragnarok Thor, and Endgame Thor over Thor before that any day. Like in the original Avengers and Age of Ultron and the first two Thor movies.
He's just lame.
He's lame.
And I think that one of the reasons is they're not writing to the actor.
Mm-hmm.
They're leaving nothing for him to do. But once they realized that Chris Hemsworth had a skill in comedy,
mm-hmm.
they decided to give some more character to the actor than just to the script.
Oh, yeah.
So then, whether you liked his character more or not,
mm-hmm.
you could say there was definitely more character there.
And after they had the success of Guardians of the Galaxy and Chris Pratt as Star-Lord, they probably realized that that comedy kind of worked.
Yeah, it's viable to push a whole movie forward.
It is. And it's just so much more enjoyable. And, superheroes don't have to be dark all the time. Like, some humor, I think, it just makes it enjoyable. It makes it good for everyone, so everyone could see it. Because my mom hates superhero movies, but she loves Deadpool.
Sure.
Because it's fun. It's awesome to watch.
You know what's not fun?
What's not fun?
And is always dark and bland?
What is always dark and bland?
The DC cinematic universe.
There's nothing enjoyable from DC in the last what?
Well,
other than Wonder Woman. But other than that, in the last since 2011?
Yeah, since the 2012, The Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Rises, yep.
And even then, that base off of The Dark Knight, The Dark Knight was a dark movie.
Mm-hmm.
But then The Dark Knight Rises was almost just a dark movie. It didn't have as much of the intriguing stuff that warranted it to be a dark movie.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, they decided that, Zack Snyder, he did a good job with movies he did in the past.
Mm-hmm.
300, Watchmen especially.
Yeah.
But then you can't do that with Superman, first off.
Yeah.
You can't turn Superman dark and dreary, especially not if you intend to make him dark, dreary, and bland. But then people were still, looking forward to what would come after that. Even if they didn't like Man of Steel, they could still say, well, maybe something good could come out of it. And something good came out of it that was also horrendous, because the second movie in that whole thing, we had Ben Affleck as Batman, and that was okay.
Yeah.
Of course, he was more dark and edgy than any other Batman we'd seen in a movie yet. And, in other Batman movies, he'd unintentionally kill people. Like in the 1989 Batman, he propelled several men down a bell tower. And in Batman Begins, he lets a whole temple of monks burn. But in no other movie did he ever, just mow down other people.
Yeah.
And I think that sort of tells you what's wrong with DC cinematic universe.
Well,
because their main push was to be edgy with Zack Snyder, and that's not. Maybe they're trying to contrast the Marvel Cinematic Universe so that they could be interesting too, but it's not.
Well, they do have some hope because there's going to be a Flash movie, But the thing is, they have to make this Flash movie. They have to do like what we were talking about earlier, what Marvel realized with some humor. Flash is perfect, and they had Shazam too, so they should make it like Shazam, more fun. I think because Flash is more of a fun character. He's younger. I feel like people can like would relate to maybe a younger character as well, and they would like to see him as a fun, funny kid instead of dark, like because they had Shazam and that's done pretty well, I think. And I thought it was a good movie. I didn't think it was too bad. There was some stuff I didn't like. I didn't like the villain too well. I thought it was kind of silly.
Yeah, but
it was
maybe
fun.
That was good.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, maybe they should take a hint from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but that was just what they did, and that's why they're no good. The best they can do is come out second. You can't out-Marvel Marvel.
Yeah.
They need to develop their own interesting identity, not dark and gloomy and bland. They need to have flavor. Like, yes, dark and bland is different from the MCU, but it's not good. But on the other hand, you also can't copy the MCU. Like with Justice League, they had Joss Whedon come and redirect half the movie, and he did the original Avengers. So it ends up as the horrible mishmash between Avengers and BVS.
Yeah, I agree with that.
And that just, they don't mix.
It doesn't.
They could develop BVS into something better. They could go back on how dark and bland it was, and you can come back a little bit and maybe implement a little more humor, but it needs to not be the MCU. And whenever you have Joss Whedon, well, that's pretty much that identity. So
yeah. Well, I just to mention, we do have the Batman mug.
Yeah.
The Batman beer mug. I brought that today just for our little superhero conversation.
Yeah, rest in peace, Ben Affleck.
Rest in peace. What is the next DC movie coming out? When's the Flash movie coming out? Do you know?
I'm not sure. They may put a hold on just all of it. I think the next, interesting DC movie coming out, which I have high hopes for, is the Joker movie with Joaquin Phoenix.
Yeah.
But of course, they made a very smart decision to not have that do anything, no connections to the actual DC cinematic universe.
Yeah.
Because they don't want to plague that movie. They want it to be good. And apparently the Jared Leto's going to have his own Joker movie, which is probably going to be horrible because Suicide Squad, that's where the comedy goes awry. Okay. That's where DC says, okay, Guardians of the Galaxy worked and the Avengers worked and all these team movies worked. So why don't we just put out this crap movie with cool characters?
Yeah.
And of course, it did not work.
No.
And I think the reason it's all so crap is because, they don't actually want to make their own stuff anymore.
No, yeah.
They're just trying to take other stuff that has already been created and try to make money with it. And of course, you can't blame them for trying to make money. They're businessmen and they're in Hollywood. That's what they're there for. But it's like they don't even have fun making their money. They just want to try to make the money, and if it doesn't work, they just stop it.
Yeah, do you think people would if their main goal was to be creative and have a good movie and have a good story, just write a good story. That was the main goal. Do you think they could succeed? Because, all they care about is a cash grab. If they just sat down and wrote a good story and cared about it.
Yeah.
Because, when George Lucas made Star Wars, he cared about it.
Yeah. Yeah, he wanted his movie to be good. He wanted to make a movie that he would want to watch.
Like, he wanted it to succeed and he wanted money, but I think he wanted to make a good story. Same with Spielberg. They want to make good stories. And Robert Zemeckis
Well, the thing is with Steven Spielberg, he's smart enough not to, he doesn't make his own scripts. All he does is he waits until something good comes along and he says, that's a movie I want to make.
Yeah. And he puts his vision into it, like he puts a...
Yeah, and the thing with a lot of people in Hollywood is they want to make a movie that other people want to watch, not themselves. They don't actually want to watch movies. They want to make money. Yeah. They don't have any, interest in entertainment other than what they can get from the entertainment.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing that George Lucas talked about. He talked about he was interested in Star Wars, and he was interested in Indiana Jones as well. He thought that was awesome. He thought they were good ideas. American Graffiti as well. That's another movie by him. He liked the idea. He had a connection to it. He had a past experience where he had memories about American Graffiti. High schoolers going to a dance, right before college. And he liked that because he remembered it and he cared about it. He wanted to show that story and he wanted to show that side. So it just worked. It works when you really care about the movie. But when you don't care and you're just trying to make a cash grab like Batman vs. Superman,
And even then, I don't think the problem was the director. I think he was a problem, but he was not the problem. The problem was the fact that the people giving him the money and the resources to make the movie didn't actually want the movie to be unique or for him to have, to develop his directing skills. And I think he also wrote it. They just wanted to make money off of it. Hence, Batman and Superman said hadn't been done in a theater for a while.
No.
If ever. So, of course, it made a little bit of money.
Yeah. And the reason they did that, though, is they were also stealing off the fact that they had Civil War coming out as well.
Oh, for sure.
They just wanted to bank off that. And Civil War was great. Like, it's not... A lot of people put it in their top 5 Marvel movies. I don't, but it's still a good movie.
Yeah,
it was passionate. It was good,
and the conflict makes sense.
And it's probably my favorite movie with Black Panther in it. It's mine because his father dies and he's trying to seek revenge, and it's cool. And even though he's not a main character, it's cool. I like it.
I think maybe with
he was good.
The MCU, what they ought to do is just leave. Again, it comes back to the cast thing. Not everybody needs to be a main character.
Yeah.
They can leave some stuff well enough alone. And of course, they turned Black Panther into a main character, and he made a lot of money. So he's going to stay as a main character. That's always going to be how it is.
Yeah. I thought he played great as like a secondary character as well. Like, hey, we need help. Let's go to Wakanda. Get Black Panther, like in future movies.
Sure.
But it was awesome to see like a second character have that much, conflict in a movie. Because the conflict was the Avengers being split up, Bucky killing his parents, and Tony Stark's parents, him figuring out, all that little mix with Bucky, Iron Man, and Captain America. But on the side, having Black Panther dad die.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
And you see, another if I asked you to tell me the conflict of Batman versus Superman, Dawn of Justice, I don't know if you could do it. Is it Batman and Superman? No. They have a conflict for like 7 minutes.
And then
it's gone.
Yeah, and then it's done.
And then a turd comes on and destroys half a city.
It's one of the stupidest superhero movies I've ever seen.
And that's because nobody cared about it. And the people that may have did not have enough guidance to actually do anything decent with it. And in the past, like with Ridley Scott, he could, have an idea and develop it and make it great.
Yeah.
He did it with Alien. He did it with Blade Runner.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I'd reckon even with Prometheus, not everybody loved it. The characters made some bad decisions, but he did something interesting with it. It was sort of a new idea. It was an already existent universe, but it was new stuff. It wasn't a rehash of what he'd already done.
Mm-hmm.
And then once again, people thought they wanted what they wanted, and then they didn't.
Yeah, no.
And so Alien Covenant didn't turn out like they wanted it to. It was somewhere between Prometheus and Alien, except worse.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you actually do have somebody creative, you shouldn't stifle them, especially when they have the backing to create something good.
Yeah. Let's put that there, right there. So, we were talking about like cash grabs and whatnot. Let's talk about the new theme park, the Galaxy's Edge theme park. That's a cash grab.
It's gonna make some money too.
It's gonna make a lot of money, but it's so stupid. Why is that canon? Why is a theme park? Why do we have to go down to Anaheim, California, or Orlando, Florida, to go to Galaxy's Edge, pay $300 a piece to get in, or pay thousands of dollars to get into a hotel, and then get cheaper tickets? Go in, wait hours for these rides and restaurants to experience the canon.
Don't you like Star Wars?
I like Star Wars, but I hate Disney.
You wouldn't spend $80,000 so you could experience the full Star Wars story with actors Daisy Ridley, Adam Driver.
Oh, gosh, it's so bad. This shouldn't be real. There should be no. There should be 6 movies. Okay, maybe an Obi-Wan movie, because that's the only idea that I've really liked. Then, or even we've gotten that in the TV show. I guess we've seen Darth Maul be killed by Obi-Wan on Tatooine when he's older. But the Galaxy's Edge, like that could be cool. That could be like a theme park. It's Star Wars theme. Awesome. I love Star Wars. But the fact that it's canon, and the fact it's going to cost so much to go experience canon.
Yeah, what is with that, man? What are they thinking?
Why? And why is like the hotel, like everyone's dressed up and it's like there's no windows, there's only TVs showing like space and like pictures of space and like, but why do I have to pay all this money to experience canon? That shouldn't be canon. But then they make these comic books not canon. Like there's comic books that make perfect sense and are fun.
These people, the people in the comics with Star Wars, they care about it, and they're actually developing it better than the people making the movies.
Exactly.
Somebody could go pick up a Star Wars comic and really enjoy it, and maybe even get something out of it.
Oh yeah.
If you go see a Star Wars movie, and you come out, and you've just lost $20.
Yeah, you lost $20 and you lost 2 hours of your time. Because
or 2.5. Because
The
Last Jedi is the longest Star Wars movie.
I know we disagree on this, but Solo was the biggest waste of my time ever.
Man, I watched it on Netflix one morning, and it was pleasant.
It's not, though. It's so dumb. Like, it's just not. It's. Well, I don't know his name, but the actor for Han Solo, I thought he was nothing. Like,
I thought he was pretty good.
He didn't have the voice. He didn't have the look.
You think they're gonna have the proper Han Solo at the Galaxy's Edge ride, Millennium Falcon Smuggler's Run?
Pay $300 to meet Harrison Ford, aka Han Solo.
He's
get
probably
his
gonna be
autograph.
dead before that opens.
I think it opens. It opens pretty soon. Well, actually, Han Solo's been dead.
Han Solo's, he's dead.
He's been dead for 4 years. Almost. We're coming up on the anniversary this December. which is when The Rise of Skywalker comes out, and hopefully that doesn't absolutely suck. I don't know what the heck they're doing. The Emperor's laughs in there. We have Luke Skywalker talking. Are they just going to bring people back from the dead, or a bunch of Force ghosts, like, fighting each other with the Force?
I can tell you the best thing, Blower.
What's
it's
the best
going
thing?
to suck.
It's going to suck?
It's going to.
I think we all know that.
Some of us don't want to.
Why does it have to suck, though? Like, we know we're going to have to put up with this movie. There's another trilogy coming out in 2022. It starts in 2022. We know it's coming. So, and we know why.
Because they want money, and they can get it.
They made $2 billion off The Force Awakens. And since they made $300 million off Solo, they realized, no more spin-off movies. We'll just make more episodes.
You know what would be awesome? If we get a Rise of the Skywalker Star Wars Galaxy's Edge ride. So every time we go, we can get more and more value.
Yes. If you're going to make a theme park, make a theme park. Make a Death Star in outer space theme park. Like, it literally orbits the Earth, and you have to ride a rocket from the theme park up to the Death Star surrounding our orbiting Earth, and you have to go up there, and then you experience that. That would be sick. That's a futuristic idea.
Death Star to blow up the world so they can't make any more Star Wars movies.
Yes, we will blow up the world.
No more theme parks. No more canon entertainment in a Disney theme park.
Just get rid of the canon, and it looks dreary too, and I don't like the look. I would have rathered. I just don't really like it, and they're making it a canon-like planet in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
So that you can experience the planet.
Batu or Batu or something.
That's kind of a weird idea, but
I guess some of the ideas there are cool. I guess like the what they look like petrified trees or something. That's fine. But everything that's actually relevant, just they're doing it all wrong.
Yeah.
They're doing it right if they want money. They're gonna get it.
Yeah, they're doing great.
Yeah, but people that actually care about what they're doing, this isn't the right move.
Yeah, I care about the story. Like, I want the story to be good. I want to look back and remember this. Like, before we had this story, we had the tragedy of Darth Vader.
Yeah.
As George Lucas would say. It starts in, I'm not going to call it episode 4, in Star Wars.
Yeah.
You have this big villain, and then you have this kid, and he has a dream. He wants to go off. He wants to leave. And then he does, and then he beats the Empire, and then they come back, and he's still young, but he's learning, he's progressing, but then he loses to the hands of his father, who he just finds out who his father is, and then he goes on to team up with his father, take him back to the light side, defeat the Emperor, defeat the Empire, then we go back to see him as a boy and see him progress until he gets to become a Sith Lord, and it's cool, and it's fun, and it's a story, and it's a good story.
But wouldn't you rather see a young female develop her skills by picking up a lightsaber and instantly becoming an expert?
I don't care about if it's a female or male or if it's a dog, but why would they just make her an instant Anakin Skywalker 10 years into training? She can use the Force. She could defeat a Sith Lord trained by the greatest Jedi, arguably the greatest Jedi of all time, who learned every form of lightsaber fighting, learned everything to know about the Force. But she is defeated by some girl from Jakku who has no parents and is a scavenger.
If you don't like her story, fine. You could have Finn, who, he learns that maybe a higher cause is more important than him. Mm-hmm. And then he does it again.
He's just another bland character in this. They're all bland.
It's like they're not even characters.
They're not. And Poe was not good either. And Kylo Ren sucks, and even Luke sucks, and Carrie Fisher wasn't even. And Leia and Carrie Fisher, like they made her like Mary Poppins in The Last Jedi. Like, what is that? It's just stupid.
I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know
dumb.
who.
And the story's not even good, too. Like, it's just so
Do they not
typical.
have anybody checking over what they write? It's like somebody writes a story, and then they just let that story be what they want. And that's just no, I'm not looking over it again. I'm too lazy for that. I just want this story so that I can release a sequel in my Disney theme park and make more money, and then release a sequel to that.
Yeah. And I think their biggest problem is Rian Johnson in The Last Jedi.
No, man.
If they would have put J.J. Abrams in there, like,
it's at the core, man.
Well, like that was a huge problem because like you had something going for you at least. Like The Force Awakens, we had some stuff going for us. We wanted to see who Rey's parents were. We had some stuff missing. We want to learn about Snoke, and then like we get there and Snoke's nobody. He dies instantly.
Yeah.
Oh, Rey's parents are nobody. Oh, they just took what they had. And they just threw it down the drain.
They didn't replace it with something better. They just got rid of what they had. So we have nothing.
We have nothing to look forward to.
And
we wanted an empire. We wanted we wanted them to win. I wanted Kylo Ren to win. Show us something. But then he lost again.
Yeah.
He's even worse.
Yeah. And the thing is, right, that the worst complaint about The Force Awakens was that it was almost, some people thought it was almost an absolute rehash of the first Star Wars movie. And I would have rather had a complete rehash of Empire than The Last Jedi.
Yeah. Oh, like, we went into I'm going to go into this movie knowing what's going to happen. In the end, I doubt they're going to kill off Rey or Finn or Poe.
I don't even need them to. But
if they did, I would actually be kind of glad that they would be that they would even dare do that, because they will not try anything like that. They have to have that same Disney structure where the bad guy's big and bad, but the good guys always win in the end.
Well, yeah, it's a Disney movie. It literally is a Disney movie now.
And it sucks. It's not Star Wars. And that's what's going to happen to Indiana Jones soon.
Yeah.
Because, gosh, if I was in charge of that Indiana Jones movie, get like Chris Pratt. Pair him up with Harrison Ford. Shia LaBeouf didn't work, but Chris Pratt would definitely work. Chris Pratt would be perfect.
But you know what I would do, right? Is just, we don't need another big actor. We need Harrison Ford. We can have like another little minority kid, whoever it is. And they won't do it, but they should have Steven Spielberg as the director and George Lucas as the writer. But he's been scared away from Hollywood because everybody's just so hateful and bitter about people that actually want to do something interesting.
Yes.
Instead of give them what they think they want. So George Lucas will not have anything to do with it, probably.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just going to be schlock again. It's going to be crap.
That's what I would do. Like I said, take Chris Pratt. Use what worked in The Last Crusade and Raiders of the Lost Ark. Get some biblical kind of, because, Raiders, you had the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Then you had the Holy Grail. A lot of you think that Temple of Doom worked and that it was good. Steven Spielberg thought it sucked. He thought it was terrible. I thought it was good. But use what worked. Take Chris Pratt, get some humor in there. He's a good actor. I think he'd be good. But still use Harrison Ford and Chris Pratt and get something that works, and find something that's fun and that's interesting and it's got that ancient kind of vibe to it, instead of that same old Disney cliche, good guy wins in the end. And I think they'd probably put it in like the late 50s, early 60s. Because what was Crystal Skull, like 53, 52?
Somewhere around there.
And then they had the Soviets. So I don't know. Maybe use the Soviets again. Do it a little bit better though this time.
Oh yeah, they can't. They can't do that again.
What was her name?
I don't.
The weird villain.
I don't know.
Girl?
Stupid person who likes aliens or something.
I like how I hate Shia LaBeouf in that movie. Gosh.
You didn't like.
I didn't like him.
You didn't like Indiana Jones' son.
It was bad.
I think he was the best addition to Indiana Jones ever.
I hope he's not in the next movie. Gosh, Shia LaBeouf.
They wouldn't put him in it.
They can't, can they? His image is terrible now.
I saw a trailer for him.
For what?
I don't remember.
What was it? Oh, okay.
But he's not gone yet.
He's not gone. Just do it.
What they really should do is just put a Star Wars hotel on a space shuttle and just send it off into the sun. Just let it go.
Create like this big action, like what are they called? What are the ships in the original trilogy called?
Which ships?
The
fighter ships, the X-wings?
No, like the big
Star Destroyers?
Yeah, the Star Destroyers. Just recreate a Star Destroyer. Or we can just go into space with it and try to find an alien life form out there and invade.
Just send it into the sun.
Just send it in the sun.
What they should do is put the Rise of Skywalker on the ship. Play it for those people. And then let them know that they're never coming back to Earth. So that their mistake is permanently hidden. And they just implode in the sun.
Implode. Okay. Well, do you think Elon Musk would get on that?
Yeah. I think we could get Elon Musk to build our Star Wars hotel for us.
I love Elon.
I think he's a good guy.
He is a good guy. He's trying to, and like we were talking about earlier, caring about the product.
Oh yeah, he cares. That's all he does.
Oh, he loves it. Have you seen the video of him crying when the interviewer said he started naming off people like Neil Armstrong and blah blah blah, everyone to do with aerospace and space.
Yeah.
And he said they don't agree with this. They don't agree with space travel. They don't agree with SpaceX. They think your idea is stupid. And he just looked at him and said, "Yeah." He's like, I wish they would just come in and see, what I'm doing. And you could see like tears in his eyes. And he cares. He wants people to love this. He wants to do something. He has said that he's always constantly thinking and wanting to matter and make things work and
even if it's not him doing it, he just wants this stuff made.
Yeah.
He wants humanity as a whole to move forward in a good direction, not in a bad one.
And he cares.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That's if you want something to work, you have to care.
Yeah, and he really wants it and he really cares about it.
Yeah. And that video is just, man, that made me admire him even more because like just to see how much he cared. That's what I love to see is just he wanted it. You can tell. And he has that solar company.
Yeah.
Solar energy company. And then he has the Boring Company and then he's SpaceX and he has Tesla and he has
just recently
Oh.
He has Neuralink.
Neuralink, oh, okay.
Which is going to use brain to neural technology interfaces to combat disease, to combat all sorts of, malfunctions that we typically have, and eventually to do even more, science fiction type things.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like brain probes.
I love Elon.
Yeah.
He's an amazing guy, and that's also gonna, he's created a lot of jobs.
He has.
Yes. That's why I want to do what I want to do. He's been a big not like a big role model, I guess.
Yep.
Cause like, I know I will never become that. Well, I don't know. You never know. But I'm never gonna become that big. But like, just to see that, I would love to work for him.
Sure.
I'm
sure he's a great boss.
Oh yeah. But I want to study engineering, and I want to get into the technology field. And I want to get into the technology field, and that would just be amazing to work for SpaceX. Gosh, to see that product, to see a rocket fly into space, that would be my dream. That would be like awesome.
Yeah.
Or to see to create a car, to create a car at Tesla, that saves so much money because you don't have to pay for gas, and we're using electricity. That would be awesome.
I think the thing I'm looking forward to most from him is a colony on Mars. And I think maybe not now, maybe not in 10 years, maybe not in 20, but at some point something he does is going to ensure that a colony is established on Mars.
Yeah.
And just recently, in the past couple months maybe, NASA has, they've announced that the only way to get further is to get back where we already were. They think in order to get out and beyond our own atmosphere, we need to have a colony on the moon so that we don't need as much energy to go places.
Yeah, that's been a big reason why I've thought about studying aerospace instead. I want to study electrical engineering kind of stuff, but then when I see stuff like that, I think, man, why don't I do aerospace? Why don't I just go for it?
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do both, but
you could. WVU has some good programs about that, and a lot of good schools have dual degrees.
Yeah, and double majors, double degrees. Majors. Yeah.
But dual degrees is kind of cool because it'll just put them both, and you can kind of do them both, and then you go get a master's degree.
Yeah.
In one of the two, so it's a good thing. You can do a lot of mechanical and aerospace stuff. That's really what I want to do. Just try to advance society and advance technology and advance space travel would be awesome.
And I'd like to, along with that, develop the more cultural things too. Because the problem is that it's like we're trying to go back and forth between developing science and developing culture and putting...
Yeah.
And it's just not really working, and we're getting something we don't want. Instead of, 1950s and 60s futures, and instead of 1980s futures, we're getting like a 1984 future.
Yeah.
Which I guess was a 50s future, but it was one of the bad ones.
Mm-hmm.
So we should have really looked at what we needed to do to get to somewhere better, but it's like we're not. They always say live in the moment, but that doesn't mean you can't look forward. If you don't look at what you're doing, you're just going to fall over and trip.
Yeah. You're exactly right.
I think that's part of what a lot of people have done. Instead of thinking about developing new ideas, and the private industries aren't trying to develop new things for the sake of making things better and striving towards a future. They're thinking short term, and they're making decisions that aren't going to maintain for years to come.
Yeah. You know what company's going to really kill our economy?
What company's that?
Amazon. Think about it for a second. Think about all that stuff that's going away. Do you think we'll have a mall here in 10 years?
No. And if we do, it's going to be maybe half or a quarter.
I mean, gosh, man. So many jobs. And they don't even need half the people who work at Amazon.
No.
It's just going to be a bunch of software engineers.
I think the way to go for Jeff Bezos, for Amazon, I think I don't mean this against the employees, but you know, you need to make the most rational decisions for yourself and for the future. And what's got to happen is AI's got to be developed enough for them to replace basic jobs. Unskilled labor should be done by artificial intelligence soon.
Well, you would be surprised, but automation can replace repetitive white-collar jobs as well. College degree, you know, I was watching a video of a engineering technician, I believe, who worked for a automation for it was something in automation, and he was like, you would be surprised, but I thought it was all blue-collar jobs that we'd be losing. There's white-collar jobs out there that we will easily lose.
Yeah.
We can lose up to 40% of our entire workforce if
I'm
we
sure
really
the medical
wanted to.
field could be very much dominated by
Oh, yeah.
artificial intelligence. And something that was kind of concerning to me was that a lot of people that are working with that sort of thing are convinced that at some point robots, artificial intelligence, are going to be composing better, writing better,
Oh, yeah.
illustrating better, and doing all forms of art better than humans. And we're always talking about, you know, the human element of things makes them better. But, you know, these are people talking that work with this stuff every day.
Oh, yeah. Well, do you think once we get to that perfect society, that we'll definitely...
We're not going to get there.
No, we won't. I don't think we will. But if we did, what kind of jobs? We would have like maybe 3 jobs. We'd have software engineers that would have to code the robots because they'll be building themselves.
Yeah, I think we're not even going to need those.
Because
at the
they'll
peak
code
of artificial intelligence, they're going to code better than we ever could.
Oh, yeah. And then we would need a government that was not... We'd need soldiers and we'd need government because they would be better soldiers. But we'd still need soldiers just in case. Because, like, you know, if someone takes it over somehow and uses them against us, then we would need to protect ourselves.
You know what's pretty scary?
What is scary?
You know about like CRISPR and all this, this genetic and DNA technology that we're
the genetically modified,
new and up and coming.
Yeah.
Well, they found out, I guess, or maybe it's just theorizing right now.
Yeah.
But it's entirely possible for somebody to get their hands on a piece of like the influenza virus or even bird flu, and you know, create a pandemic with this genetic technology and just send it out.
That's scary.
Yeah. And then antibiotics might not work.
No.
Because we don't use them right.
No, we don't.
We either use too much or too little, and we don't use them as prescribed. And all of these diseases are going... Well, they already have developed immunities to them.
Because bacterial infections are alive.
Yeah.
They are alive.
Yeah. And
viruses are not. But
you know, even that, I think viruses are. I think we need to redefine
a virus?
What life is. Because the thing that says, no, it's not alive, is that it can't reproduce without something else.
Yeah. But
it, you know, it makes intelligent decisions.
Yeah.
And it reproduces, you know?
Yeah, I never understood why. Like, I understood why, but I think I agree with you.
I think it ought to be decided that it's alive.
I was watching a movie last night that said it was talking about a virus, and it said it was alive. And he was saying, "Oh, it's alive," and so I didn't know if they didn't know what they were talking about, or they're thinking like what we're thinking, you know, that it is alive. But we've talked about a lot of sci-fi today.
Yeah.
That's all we got for the conversations. Let's get into our top 10 of the day.
All right.
We have our top 10 sci-fi movies. We'll both say our 10, and then we'll have like a couple seconds to explain it, and then we'll go to number 9, and then so forth. So I'll go ahead and start with number 10. Number 10, I have Ghostbusters. For top 10 sci-fi movies, 10 is Ghostbusters.
That's a sci-fi movie?
It's a sci-fi movie.
Okay.
It's science and it's fiction. But let me tell you, it would have been a whole lot better if Eddie Murphy was in it, like he was supposed to.
You're right. Eddie Murphy should have been in Ghostbusters.
And there's scenes with him because he was filming with Ghostbusters until he dropped out. And there's scenes that they just left him in, and he's in the background just sitting there.
He should be in the movie.
He should have been in the movie.
Eddie Murphy should have been in Ghostbusters.
That would have been such a good movie. And it is such a good movie, but it would have been so much better.
I was never on the big Ghostbusters train.
I wasn't either, but it's a good... I like it a lot, but I don't think it's number 9 or number 8 worthy.
However, just this morning when I woke up, I did watch the remix of the Ghostbusters song by Neil Cicierega.
Oh, you did?
Bustin'.
Bustin'? Buster?
Yeah.
Bustin'? Ghost.
It's a great remix.
You're a Ghostbuster.
I'm not. I don't live that life.
Okay.
My number 10 is Star Wars.
It's just Star Wars. Okay.
Yeah. It's not my favorite. I'll go ahead and say the other two in the original trilogy are on the list, and they're a good bit ahead of this one.
Okay.
And I understand why a lot of people would even put this first over Empire, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
I still... You know, when you grow up with something, you really just grow up with it.
Yeah.
And, you know, there is an odd sort of cultural reverence you have for it. It's like a religious text.
Yeah.
It is. It's so revered. And, you know, it's a fun movie.
It's a good movie.
And it's got a lot of spirit. It's got great music.
Oh, so it's the best soundtrack. The original trilogy has the best music from any movie ever.
And it's also because
John Williams.
They used it in good points too.
Yeah.
Like they didn't just have the music and the movie; they integrated them together so that they worked.
Oh, the Force theme
to help each other. Yeah.
With Luke looking up in Tatooine, the binary sunset. Gosh, man, that hits you every time you see it. That's just so good.
Yeah, a lot of spirit behind that movie.
Okay, let's go to number 9. I have, you're gonna laugh at this one. I have Interstellar.
Interstellar's your number 9.
It's 5% science, 95% fiction. It's a little out there, but I like it. You
don't say.
The bookshelf and the black hole.
The ending killed it for me, man.
But leading up to that, it's so good.
A lot of it is great. Matthew McConaughey did a good job, and the music, even if it's a little loud, you know, it's good. Hans Zimmer did a good job.
Yeah, he did good.
And Christopher Nolan did a good job directing.
Yeah, he did great.
Everything was good except for the ending, really. I thought,
it was a little weird.
You know, quantum ghost, whatever, black hole ghost.
It was out there. Let's hear your number 9.
My number 9 is Jurassic Park.
Oh, okay.
It counts. I was thinking about it. I'm like, that's not really, but it is.
It is, yeah.
It's more on the genetic side,
fictional
like we were talking
science
about.
Movie.
And Jurassic Park it's awesome.
It is awesome.
I love dinosaurs.
It's a great movie,
especially when they're used for horror.
Yeah.
Like Jurassic World: Fallen Kingdom. It wasn't very great. But I like watching dinosaurs in horror settings, and the original is the best for it, for sure. And the effects are amazing. They still hold up.
Mm-hmm. Even though it's another one where you don't realize it, but the science is not near. The dinosaurs were they didn't look anything like that. They didn't, like velociraptors were more like a chicken than the velociraptors in Jurassic Park. There was another raptor that was actually closely related to the velociraptor we see. But we'll go on to number 8. Number 8, I have Independence Day, with Jeff Goldblum and Will Smith and Uncle Eddie. Uncle Eddie saves the world from aliens by driving his ship right into the bottom of that huge ship, the huge circular disc. But man, that's a good movie. I like Jeff Goldblum a lot.
I like Jeff Goldblum
in Jurassic Park as well.
Much more in Jurassic Park. I do not love Independence Day. and I'm not sure I like Independence Day.
It's good because Uncle Eddie saves the world. Even though he's not Uncle Eddie, and he's the same actor, but Uncle Eddie from the Vacation movies.
Yeah.
But Uncle Eddie saves the world. It's not bad. It's a good movie, but I like it because of Uncle Eddie, and I like it because of Jeff Goldblum, and I like it because of Will Smith, because I just like the actors, and I like the Independence Day speech, and I like it. It's good. I think it's better than Interstellar and Ghostbusters. But
I think it's better than neither.
You do?
Yeah,
okay.
I think I like those other two more.
Well, let's hear your number 8.
My number 8 is sort of similar and sort of the opposite. It's Prometheus, which is the Ridley Scott's Alien prequel.
Yeah.
And the way it's similar to Independence Day is the characters make really dumb decisions. The way it's the opposite is that Ridley Scott doesn't focus much on the external stuff. And, you can tell he has an artist background.
Yeah.
All the set designs, great. All the monster designs and the Deacon and the Trilobite. And then, of course, the engineer is stunning. But, he tries to dive into more of that intellectual, philosophical stuff with David, like creation and destruction.
Mm-hmm.
And then, there's not any of that in Independence Day.
No, there's none of that.
It's different. A lot of people didn't like Prometheus, but I liked it a whole lot.
My next one is a throwback, 1960, The Time Machine.
No.
From H.G. Wells' novel. It was the adaptation. It was a good movie. Great book too. I like it. I like H.G. Wells. I like the movie as well. It's kind of cool. It's cool to see, a movie that old and off a book from 1895.
Yeah, it's a little different sci-fi movie. It's different. Because it's not got all this. It doesn't have all the cultural sci-fi stuff that keeps adding on and adding on. It's unique because it's its own thing. All the sci-fi ideas are its own. Yeah,
and it's original because it was written in 1895.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Cars weren't even. We didn't have cars. We didn't have. We didn't have the. We didn't have planes. We didn't have cars. We didn't have television. We didn't have radio. We didn't have. Electricity was new. Standard oil was still around. We're still in was the Gilded Age still going around?
It had just ended. I think
it just ended. So we're still That's a long
and
time ago.
H.G. Wells puts out this sci-fi book.
What? That's 50 years before sci-fi. Was a big thing.
Yeah.
Till after World War II in the 50s when sci-fi became popular, That's awesome.
Yeah. My number 7 is Terminator 2, Judgment Day.
Awesome.
Yep. It's I don't know what to say about it other than it's just an awesome movie.
Classic. Yeah, it's a great movie.
The first Terminator was almost entirely horror, and it's been a long time since I've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
But Terminator 2 is this grand story about time travel and trying to save John Connor. And, there's a reason it's so ingrained in culture now.
Oh, yeah. My next one, number 6, probably the newest one on this list, Avengers Infinity War. The only superhero movie, I think, on my list and on your list. I don't know if you would count that as science fiction or not.
Sure. Wakanda, spaceships, whatever. That works.
It's not really. It's like zero
Iron Man
science.
has rocket boots, whatever.
Iron Man engineer, so it counts.
Yeah, it's fine.
But I like it because it's my favorite Marvel movie, I believe. I was back and forth from Endgame, Ragnarok, and Infinity War, but I wanted to include one. I like it because we get to see the rise of Thanos, and the hero doesn't win.
Well, they really sort of did, because Infinity War and Endgame that's the same story.
Yeah, but we were left for a year where we didn't know what was going to go on. Thanos had all 6 Infinity Stones. We thought he did, but he actually destroyed them all 2 days after Infinity War. And it was crazy to leave the theater half the people are dead. You know, you would never. That was a move.
Yeah.
That was a move. That was I loved it.
Especially considering all the little kids that probably went and saw it.
Yeah, and it was sad.
Oh yeah, it was really rough. I thought Endgame was a little more rough though with Iron Man.
Yeah,
because you felt that was permanent.
Yeah, it hit you. You know,
because it didn't leave you hanging. Like you that was done.
It's done.
That was the final move.
That is they could never make a Marvel movie again. We would be so satisfied.
Yeah,
I would be.
My number 6 is The Empire Strikes Back.
Wow, this low.
Yeah.
That's my favorite Star Wars movie, man.
Yeah. I like it more than the first Star Wars movie. I think Darth Vader and Luke have a lot more to do with each other in this movie, and the father and son stuff is probably strongest in this movie.
Oh yeah,
because you didn't have the Emperor directly in the relationship there. It was just this. It's a tragedy. It really is. Like you said earlier, it's a tragedy about Darth Vader struggling with the dark side, and his son is, working completely against him, just trying to do the right thing. And of course, the score is amazing again.
Oh yeah,
everything.
And Darth Vader is really not trying to kill him.
No.
Luke is trying his best to defeat him.
Yeah, he's trying to defeat his dad.
Even though he's getting absolutely killed. He knows, but if he would have a little bit more wise, he would have known that. But you can tell he's really trying. He thinks he can, but Darth Vader's Anakin is trying to turn his son. He wants him to be on the same side. He doesn't want to kill his son. Unlike him and Leia, he kind of is a bad dad to Leia.
Oh yeah,
tortures her and stuff. But to Luke, he loves Luke. He wants Luke to be on his side. I think it's cool in the end.
And Empire is definitely not a Disney movie. Everything that could go wrong, except for one thing, does go wrong.
Yes.
The only thing that doesn't is that Luke does not fall off the bottom of Cloud City into the core of the planet and just whatever happens in that planet.
Okay, the number 5 for me, I have The Matrix.
Okay.
It's a good movie. Keanu Reeves is awesome.
Yep. I need to see that movie again.
How long's it been for you?
Probably like 5 years.
It's awesome, man. It's a good movie. Next 2 suck, but that one's good.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I think I've seen the other 2 more recently than the first one.
Well, you go right ahead. Number 5?
My number 5 is Return of the Jedi. That's my favorite Star Wars movie. And I get everybody hates the Ewoks. That's fine.
Yeah.
I get that, not as much is going on with most of the characters.
Mm-hmm.
But the stuff with the Emperor, Darth Vader, and Luke absolutely saves the entire thing for me and puts it head and shoulders above the other Star Wars movies.
And I like Lando and the going in and destroying the Death Star again. I like this one even more than the first Star Wars movie when they destroyed the Death Star.
Scene. Yeah.
It was a fun Death Star scene. Akbar and Lando. Neo Nund. What's his name? Is it Neo Nund?
Nien Nund.
Nien Nund.
Yeah.
He's funny. He's him and Lando and even though that Lando's wearing Han's clothes, that's a little bit weird. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
He's like wearing his clothes. It's weird.
Well, he's probably sweaty or something.
Yeah, he took a shower and put on some of his clothes. Number 4, speaking of Star Wars, I have Star Wars.
The first
Star Wars. Yeah. Star Wars. I don't call it A New Hope. I call it Star Wars because that's what it is.
Star Wars.
It's Star Wars. Nothing much to say about this. It's part of my childhood, and it's awesome. I love it.
Yeah.
Your number 4?
My number 4, and this from this point on, the next 3 are almost interchangeable. I love all 3 of them almost equally, but my number 1's a little bit above that. My number 4 is John Carpenter's The Thing.
Awesome.
It's I think it counts as science fiction.
Yeah.
Because it's an alien
Yeah.
And it's the most horrifying alien, maybe, to ever be in a movie. Because I was thinking about this earlier, just this morning. I think the way to make a best alien for a horror movie is to put it in a position where it could have just as easily been from hell as it could from outer space.
Oh, yeah.
And in John Carpenter's The Thing, this could be a demon, easily. And it could be terrifying if it was. And it's, especially with the blood test scene, it's horrifying, this movie. It's so disturbing. And John Carpenter, of course, does a great job with everything. The effects are some of the best to ever grace the screen. You know, this body horror practical effects, they are fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
And the score is, it's a nice 80s horror score. You don't have, like, all the horror tropes in the score.
Yeah.
It's just a nice, mostly ambient, scary movie score.
And the score really helps, movie go along. Like, that it's a big part of the story. People don't realize that.
Yeah, with sound design and score, you can do about half the movie.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're David Lynch with Eraserhead, you could do, like, 75% of the movie.
75%. Next one, I had one earlier on your list. I have Jurassic Park.
Great.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
Nothing to say about it. Dinosaurs.
I love Jurassic Park, man.
It's just good. You're on your toes the whole time.
It's almost a horror movie, too.
It is.
It borders between horror and adventure.
It's a thriller, really.
Yeah.
What's your number 3?
My number 3 is Ridley Scott's Blade Runner. The atmosphere created in Los Angeles in this movie is probably the best sci-fi atmosphere ever to be made. The philosophical stuff is done way better than in Prometheus.
Oh, yeah.
The struggle between, what really makes us human. Because the replica, it's also a tragedy. I love this movie. I love everything about it. And Harrison Ford does a great job as Harrison Ford again.
Yeah.
Except he's like a slightly different Harrison Ford. It's like a treat. It's like Harrison Ford and some.
Well, the sad thing is I've never got to finish this movie.
You never got to finish Blade Runner?
No.
Oh, man.
But I want to see it so bad.
You've
I love Harrison
watch
Ford.
Blade Runner.
Okay, let's go to number 2. Number 2 for me is it's pretty close to my number 1, but I have a long history with this movie, and it's Back to the Future. I played Marty McFly in our school news. Remember that?
In the school news, you played Marty McFly.
Yep, I have the jacket from Back to the Future 2. That's a good movie too. Even it has a really low Rotten Tomatoes score. Did you know that? The Back to the Future 2? It's just as I think it's up there with the first one, but the first one's better. It's just so it's fun. It's awesome. There's little hints throughout the movie foreshadowing what's going to go on and stuff. And there's little things that you have to notice, and I like that. And it's fun. It's just a good story.
Yeah, it's just
fun.
a nice little
and it's got a good
sci-fi story.
And the music's great too by Huey Lewis and the News.
Yeah.
The Power of Love. Earth Angel at the end, at the dance. That's a great.
My personal favorite Huey Lewis and the News thing ever is American Psycho.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And also with Back to the Future is Chuck Berry's Johnny Be Good at the end.
Yeah.
And it really was his cousin who sang Earth Angel, because at the end it says, "You're going to love this." Well, his cousin actually did sing Earth Angel. So that was a little bit true, that maybe his cousin could have been the one who showed him Johnny Be Good. I don't know.
Yeah.
It obviously wasn't Marty McFly or
Yeah.
Michael J. Fox, but, I don't know. Maybe. Let's hear your number 2.
My number 2, which is also almost interchangeable with the past 2, is Aliens.
Aliens.
The sequel to Alien. Aliens is more of a drama, horror action, instead of an horror drama action.
Yeah.
And Alien, like you learn more about this mysterious beast to the point that it could have still come out of hell, like I talked about.
Yeah.
This could be a demon as easily as it could be an alien. And from the moment you see this ramshackled colony, you know you're in for, a good sequel to the original. And James Cameron, he does a good job capturing what Ridley Scott did in the first.
Oh yeah.
I think this was one of the first horror sci-fi or horror movies alone to ever get an Academy Award nomination.
Oh really?
Yeah. Sigourney Weaver for actress.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. She did a great job.
Oh yeah.
And that's, the drama between her and Newt is it's great.
Like I said, with Blade Runner, I haven't seen Alien. I want to. I know they're great. I've seen some footage and some stuff from them, and they look awesome. But I just need to see it. First one for me, I have The Empire Strikes Back. It's my third favorite movie of all time, only behind Shawshank and Raiders of the Lost Ark. I love it. There's not much to say about it, like we said earlier. It just captures what it means to, be a just gosh darn good movie.
Yeah.
That's the only way to put it.
I don't think anybody, if you talk to anybody, I don't think they could give you a reason that it's not a gosh darn good movie.
It's just good. Let's hear your number one. I already know
my
what it
number
is.
one is my
pretty
favorite
obvious.
movie of all time. It's a Ridley Scott movie. It's better than Aliens. It's
Just take
better
off the
than
S.
Blade Runner, better than Prometheus. It's Alien. And everything about this movie, for me, is exactly what I'm looking for in a movie. It's horrifying. The set design's amazing. The costume design's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
It feels like this is a real spaceship with real people just trying to do it, they're just trying to live. They're trying to do their job. And this horrible thing that, you feel like it hates life. And it's just, it's an alien. And with aliens, you feel like they're not as powerful because there's a bunch of them, and you can get mowed down by an assault rifle. An alien, there's one alien, and it's horrifying because this is the more Giger-esque one, which is, of course, the artist H.R. Giger designed this thing, and it looks like it's out of a biomechanical hell world because the way that H.R. Giger got onto his art style is he took LSD and he opened his refrigerator and he saw into a biomechanical world.
Yeah.
And that's where this horrifying thing came from. And it's the most fantastic alien ever designed. Sigourney Weaver does a great job as a female lead. Most of the time it feels fisted into the whole thing, and she just happens to be a female, and she does a great job. Everybody in the movie does a great job.
That's got to be one of the best female leads of all time. Like in a movie.
It doesn't feel ham-fisted in there.
It doesn't feel like that's every female lead now. They just want you to know that she's. I don't care. I love that she's a female. It
works.
And it's the same thing with Princess Leia. It's awesome that she's like an awesome hero in our thing of heroes, and it works, and it's not fisted, and that's what I like to see. I like to see natural.
She just happens to be a female, and she's smart.
She's a good
and
actor.
Everybody in the movie makes the best decisions they can.
Yeah,
it's innovative. It's the spaceship design's incredible too. Like the Nostromo, I love the look of the spaceship.
Yeah,
and it sparked my favorite franchise ever. Of course, and it's also my favorite movie ever. I don't know if I could ever stop saying and complimenting this movie. There's just so much to love about it.
Well, I have to say something about it. I think Ghostbusters has Alien topped.
You think so?
Yeah. If Eddie Murphy was...
If Eddie Murphy was in Ghostbusters, perhaps it would be my number one movie of all time.
Let's get rid of Dan Aykroyd. Let's get rid of Bill Murray. It's just Eddie Murphy, Chevy Chase...
Blower.
Defeating.
I've just come up with the best idea of all time.
What is the best idea of all time?
Beverly Hills Cop, Ghostbusters.
Well, why don't we make it National Lampoon's?
You have Axel Foley with Chevy Chase hunting ghosts. It would be amazing.
Dude, National Lampoon's Beverly Hills Cops Ghostbusters. That would be awesome. That would be the
best movie I've ever seen.
Ghostbusters.
Amazing.
That would be awesome. Okay, that's all the time we have for today. I'm Chase Blower, and this is Buster, and that was The Basement. We'll hope to see you next time. We should have some new episodes coming soon. Thank you very much, and we're out.